There are two types of carbon compounds, saturated and unsaturated. We have already seen that the simplest carbon compound is methane, in which one carbon atom is bonded to 4 other hydrogen atoms. We know that carbon atom has 4 electrons in its outermost shell, and it requires 4 more electrons to complete its octet. On the other hand, hydrogen has 1 electron in its only shell and requires 2 electrons to complete the duplet. So, 4 hydrogen atoms, they form single bonds with carbon atoms, such that all the 4 hydrogen atoms complete their duplets and a single carbon atom complete its octet. Now, by the catenation property, carbon can form covalent bonds with other carbon atoms. So, we can have a carbon-carbon single bond like this. If these two carbons are sharing one pair of electron between them, the unfulfilled valency of each carbon is 3, which can be then fulfilled by the 3 hydrogen atoms each. So, a compound can be formed like this. So, this CH4 and name of the compound is methane. Similarly, 2 carbon and 6 hydrogen can form a compound C2H6 and its name is ethane. Similarly, 3 carbon can also form a chain like this. In this you can see that for the first carbon, it has received 1 electron from the adjacent carbon. So, 3 more electrons are needed, which can be fulfilled by the hydrogen. If you look at the middle carbon, you can see it has shared 1 electron with this carbon and 1 electron with this. So, 2 more electrons are needed, which can be supplied by 2 hydrogen atom, and like this you can have a compound C3H8. 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 2 8. The name of the compound is propane. Likewise, many carbons can form such long chains, and remaining valencies of carbon can be fulfilled by hydrogen. If you look at the formulae, here 1 carbon, 4 hydrogen, here 2 carbon, 6 hydrogen, 3 carbon, 8 hydrogen. If you look at the hydrogen, we have a linear carbon chain like this. Then we have 2 hydrogens above it, 2 hydrogens below it, whereas there are 2 hydrogen at the end of the chain. So, if there are n number of carbon atoms in a straight chain, there are 2n number of hydrogen atom, means n hydrogen atoms above the linear chain, n hydrogen atom below the linear chain, and we have extra 2 hydrogen atoms at the 2 ends of the chain. So, general formula is CnH2n plus 2. Now, this group of compounds in which linear chains are formed and all the bonds are single bond between carbon and hydrogen, this family is known as alkanes. So, we have alkanes with general formula CnH2n plus 2. If there are 4 carbon atoms, we can see here, 4 carbon atoms in a linear chain are present. Then there will be 4 hydrogen above the linear chain like this, fulfilling the valencies of carbon. 4 hydrogen below the linear chain, fulfilling the valency, and 1 hydrogen each at the 2 ends. So if you look at the formula, it will be C4H10, which is in agreement with the formula CnH2n plus 2. 4 2s are 8, 8 plus 2, 10. Now 2 carbon atoms can even form a double bond between them, and when such multiple bonds are formed between carbon, the compounds, they are called unsaturated compound. All these alkanes, they are called saturated compounds because they have only single bonds between carbon atom, single bond between carbon atoms. In unsaturated compounds, there can be double or triple bond between carbon atom. So to have a double bond between 2 carbon atom, we should at least have 2 carbon atoms, correct? So a carbon-carbon double bond with a single carbon atom is not possible. So 2 carbon atom with double bond. Double bond means what? They are sharing 2 pairs of electrons between them. So out of 4, 2 valencies are actually fulfilled. So 2 more valencies are unfulfilled, which can be fulfilled by hydrogen atom like this. So a compound C2H4 will be formed here, and the name of the compound is ethene. The last 3 letters are different. If you can see, for alkane, last 3 letters are ANE like this, but in case of this alkenes double bond, last 3 letters are ENE. If there are 3 carbon atoms and a carbon-carbon double bond between, let us say, first and second carbon atom like this, then we can fulfill the remaining valencies like this. Now for this first carbon atom, it is forming a double bond with adjacent carbon atom. So 2 valencies are already fulfilled. So 2 more valencies are to be fulfilled by the hydrogen atom. For this carbon, you can see that 2 electrons are received from this and 1 is received from this carbon. So only 1 more is required. So that can be given by hydrogen. For the last one, we can see that the 3 electrons are needed. So the formula here is C3, and how many hydrogen? 3 plus 3, 6, H6, and name of the compound is propene. Again the last 3 letters ENE, and 3 carbon atoms means propene. So in general, even means you can check for 4 carbon atoms, how will be the compound, like CC, then we have a double bond here like this. Then for the first carbon atom, the 3 valencies are unfulfilled, as you can see here. So that can be fulfilled by hydrogen atom. For second carbon atom, 1 electron is received from the first carbon and 2 electron from this second. So only 1 electron is needed. For this also, 2 electrons here, 1 electron here, only 1 is needed. For last one, 3 electrons are needed. So in all, the formula is C4H8. So if you look at all these compounds, this name of the compound is butene here. For all this compound, the general formula is CnH2n, and this family is called alkenes. Family is called alkenes. So we have ethene, propene, butene, pentene, hexene. So this is one way in which unsaturated hydrocarbons can be formed. The other way is triple bond. That means 2 carbon atoms can even share a triple bond between them like this. So if there is a triple bond between 2 carbon atoms, that means they are sharing 3 pairs of electrons. That means only 1 valency is unfulfilled, which can be fulfilled by hydrogen, such type of compound is formed. This is C2H2, and the name of this compound is ethine, ETH. Last three letters are YNE. So this is ethine. Then there can be a triple bond in the chain of 3 carbon, like this. First 2 carbon triple bond, then there is a single bond. For the first carbon, only one valency unfulfilled because it is receiving 3 electrons from the triple bond. For the second carbon, you can see this carbon is receiving 3 electrons from this carbon, 1 from this. So all the 4 valencies are already fulfilled. For last one, it requires 3 more electrons. So formula will be C3H4 and the name will be propyne. Name will be propyne, again YNE. So general formula for this is CnH2n minus 2. CnH2n minus 2, and family is known as alkyne, YNE, alkynes. So this is about the saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons means only single bond between carbon atoms. We have seen only linear chain. After a while we will see the branches and rings. In case of unsaturated hydrocarbon, they can have either double bond or triple bond between them. The carbon compounds with a double bond, they are known as alkenes, and with a triple bond, they are known as alkynes. We have seen their general formulae. For alkanes, saturated hydrocarbon, CnH2n plus 2, alkene CnH2n, and for alkyne it is CnH2n minus 2. Then the carbon compounds can be of straight chains, branches and rings. So we are going to see about it. Until now we have seen only the chains. Okay. If there are 4 carbon atoms, and let us talk about alkanes first. If we have 4 carbon atoms like this, they can form a linear chain, and then they can fulfill the valencies by forming single bonds with hydrogen atoms like this. So again it is C4H10 and the name is butane, as you already know. But now a different structure can evolve if carbon atoms are bonded like this. So this is a branch. The 4th carbon here is forming a branch. It is not the part of that linear chain. Now what will happen? How will be the hydrogen atoms attached? Now for the first carbon, 3 valencies are unfulfilled. So that can be fulfilled by hydrogens like this. For second carbon, you can see here, this carbon, it is getting 1 electron from this carbon, 1 from this carbon, 1 from this carbon. So already it is getting 3 electrons, so only 1 electron is needed. But for this top carbon, you can see 3 more electrons are needed, which are supplied by the hydrogens. For the last one, again 3 more hydrogens are needed. If you look at the formula, you will see the formula is same, C4, and 3 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 9 plus 1, 10, C4H10. So the formula is same, chemical formula of both the compound, the linear chain and the branched compound, it is same. But the structure is different. Here the 4 carbon atoms are in a single line, linear, whereas there is a branch over here. So this compound, its general name is isobutane, and these two, they are called isomers of each other. These two compounds are isomers of each other. structural isomers. That means they are having same chemical formula but different chemical structures. They have same chemical formula but different chemical structures. There is one more way in which carbon atoms can bond with each other, and it is like this. They can form a ring like this. And this is a ring structure, but now formula will not be C4H10 here, it is actually C4H8, which is a structural isomer of this butene, as we have seen in last example. Its formula is C4H8. So and this cyclic compound, that means ring structure, it's known as cyclobutane. So cyclobutane and butene, there are isomers of each other. They are structural isomers of each other. A typical ring structure is called benzene, and in which 6 carbon atoms are bonded together in a hexagonal manner like this, and there are alternate single double bond between them. So single bond between first two, then there is double bond, again single bond, again double bond, single bond and double bond. Now you can see that each carbon is getting 3 electrons, one from single bond, 2 from double bond, like this. It is getting 2 from this double bond, 1 from the single bond. So each carbon requires only 1 hydrogen to complete its octet, and the structure is C6H6, and this structure is known as benzene structure, benzene. So like this we have seen the chains, branches and rings in